works. We got 3 green checks.
Yay.
We're live. I've done something right so far. All right. We have people watching, so I've clearly done the right button.
We haven't crashed and burned yet.
Yet. Keyword yet. Keyword. Let's see. It's been an interesting week, so I'm so curious to see how the show tonight goes. It'll be interesting. That's for sure. Is our chat room working? Okay, it is. Good.
It is.
Hooray. Thank goodness. I was nervous there for a second. So far, so good. So, chat room, it's just me and Chad tonight. Scott is out on assignment. He might, I don't know. I wonder if he's going to call in. We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. So, be sure to give us a call because, Chad and I, we have some things to talk about, but we'd love to hear from other people as well. It's always nice to get more input. So,
Definitely. And we just don't chatter on near as much as Scott does. So
Scott's a talker. Sorry, Scott. He's a talker.
That's right. That's right.
He will talk to anyone. He has no issues with that. But I don't know. Let's see. How does he arrange his screen? This is really weird, like to be in here. Let's do it like this.
Rearrange everything so when he gets back, it's like, what did you do?
Heck yes. I'll like rearrange the furniture and stuff while he's gone. That'd be pretty funny. Mm-hmm. Paint the front house. That would be fun. All right. I think it's time. Let's see. I have my notes. Apologies in advance, everyone. I'm probably going to hit the wrong button a couple of times, but, we'll get through it. It'll be fine. I don't know. It's dangerous putting Shorty in front of the controls. You never know what's going to happen. So, we ready, Chad?
I'm ready.
All right. Oh, I have to count down. 3, 2, 1.
You want to know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now.
Welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. I'm Taz427. Scott is out on assignment, so please welcome to my virtual left my co-host, Shorty Knits.
Let's go on vacation.
Vacation. Yes, that's right. Tonight's episode 689, recorded live on October 27th, 2021. It's the tips for planning your next vacation or vacation with geocaching. The phone lines are open, so give us a call at 808-468-7924. That's 808-GOT-SWAG. And for our international callers, you can call us at the free, or call us for free via the web at callinstudio.com/show/GCPC. But before we start, let's talk Patreon. It costs a lot of money to make our podcast work, and we really could use your help. Thanks to all of our current subscribers and our new subscribers, which we got a couple new ones
We
now.
do.
We do. We got Flowers22 out of Naperville, Illinois, and
Fantastic.
Little Hiker. All right. So that's in your neck of the woods there.
Yeah, not too far.
Not too far. And Little Hiker Joe, 1973, out of Prospect, Ohio, who is a new platinum subscriber.
Fantastic. We like platinum subscribers.
So for becoming a patron member, you get the free videos, you get the extra videos. We get free swag, buttons, and pot tags, and all kinds of nice stuff. So please give us anything you can at patreon.com/the geocaching podcast, or you can provide a one-time payment via PayPal at paypal.me/the geocaching podcast.
Yeah, and we really do appreciate it. Goes to
We
the bills.
definitely got to pay those bills.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
And it's also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go caching than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, hints and tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com.
And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Be Gone soap, itch spray, and 2-cent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And by Arted Crafted. Arted Crafted creates unique geocaching themed tees and custom designs for you or your geocaching group. With adult sizes ranging from small to 5XL, if you have an idea for a shirt design and cannot find it, you've come to the right place. Please give us the opportunity to show you how we can enhance your caching experience with your own custom design. Visit them at artedcrafted.com. That's ARTEDCRAFTED.com.
And finally, by pattags.com. For all your swag and pad tag needs, visit our website to get creative help, to trade or log tags, or to purchase your own personalized pad tags. With over 43,000 tags to collect, pattags.com is everything you need to start your pad tag obsession. Visit them at pattags.com. That's PATHTAGS.com. And you can find links to our sponsors on our website or
in our show notes. So speaking of path tags, when we were in, how long has path tags been around?
Since before I started geocaching, so it's been around quite a while.
So I found a path tag in a cache when we were in Georgia, and I threw it in the bottom of my purse. And just a couple days ago, I went on pathtags.com and I logged it, and like I looked at it and I'm like, this looks different. Like it has a different design. The back was different and the serial number was different, like much bigger letters. And so I finally logged it. Now I wish I was I'm on Scott's computer, so I'm not logged in as me. But it was from like 2008. That can't be right. I mean, I was like really surprised at how old it was. And I found it was still in the cellophane package and everything. So now I have to look that up. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was trying to look real quickly on their website to see if I can find out. And I know that, yeah, I would say they've been around. I would guess if I were to make a swag, I would say 2003, 2004 time frame. But that's just a swag.
So, yeah, I know they've been around at least as long as I've been caching, so 10 years. So probably a little longer. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. Come across such an old path tag in the wild.
Right.
So that was cool.
Definitely.
So we have an update.
We got an update on the GCPC race. We still got Beaver Bob in first place with 24,000 miles. Gingerbread geocache tag at 18,000 miles. Blaze On at 17,000. Racer Tongue 8 at 16,000. Leo Louise 13's Racer Frog at about 13,000. Holly the Fuggler in 6th place. Christmas Pickle still in 7th place. I Met Signal Tag 20 years later Idaho Dasher and GNTF GCPC Bunny Squeaker is still in 10th. So it looks like those standings kind of sticking around there this week.
And where is yours?
Mine's in
Which one?
7th. It's the Christmas pickle
Christmas
key.
pickle. So
Yeah.
11,000 miles. That's impressive.
That's not bad.
Where is Beaver Bob with 24,000 miles? Where is Beaver Bob racking up all those miles?
I don't know. It's racking up somewhere. Let's see here. Can we pop that open here? I'm gonna look at the map real quick here. See where it's been.
380 records on this guy.
Wow.
All over the up to Alaska and back.
Alaska down
Florida
into
to Alaska?
into the Virgin Islands or British Virgin Islands. That is. And trying to see where is it in that cluster in Florida area right now?
Must be. Let's see. The most recent is
Sand Hill
in Florida. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's awesome. That's some huge miles. Very impressive.
And I met the person who picked up my Christmas pickle key on the first one here, and she was so happy that I mentioned her name not once but twice on the show. And so let's go for a third time. It was KDAPM. So I met her and her son while we're out on Aceto this past weekend.
Very cool. Cool.
Yeah, very
and
cool.
I don't think our trackables have moved a whole lot. Have they? I think they are all pretty much the same.
I haven't seen any notifications, so especially on mine. So
right. Yeah, I think yours is. I don't know. It's going to end up in a yard sale.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll see it in 20 years at a garage sale somewhere.
Exactly.
Hey, that's mine.
Yeah. Someone will be strolling through the Goodwill.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
I got mail. Yay! I got mail. Yay!
Okay, we got a couple pieces of mail here. The first one's from Lazarus Long. And he says, with so many people talking and griping about Adventure Labs on the last show, I was surprised that no one mentioned that they don't count for country, state, counties, or any other stat. Well, actually, they count for one other stat. They do count for fines. I like to travel, or did before 2020, and most caches on vacations. Adventure Labs are great for finding a few caches quickly without having to drag the teenagers through the woods. Dragging teenagers through the woods is kind of hard. I noticed when I looked to see how many states I had cached in that live caches and adventure caches do not add to the numbers of caches found in each state. That was my only gripe about them. Having a great week and keep up the good podcasting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do agree. You know, it doesn't count towards your DT grid, doesn't count towards, there's lots of things that it doesn't count towards, but it does count towards your fine count. That's the only thing that really counts towards.
Right. And the Pizza Ninja brings up a good point, having them count towards your calendar days. So that's it. I mean, they count for fines and towards your calendar, but there's no DT, obviously. There's no place date, obviously, and there's no location. So no state, no county, nothing like that. And I'm curious about your milestones. I wonder if you find an Adventure Lab location as a milestone number, will that count? I don't think so, because
that's an interesting question.
When you look at it, you have to have a GC number and you can lock that number in, but they don't have a GC number. So I don't know. I don't think that would work.
Right.
So that's frustrating. Right. That's one of the things that I do every milestone is I try to get a different icon.
Yeah, I think I'm up to 9 or 10 icons for official milestones. So
Yeah.
because
Awesome.
they got a different milestone, official milestones. I think after you hit 1,000,
Yeah.
it starts incrementing by 1,000, and
Right.
so those become harder and harder.
Yeah, they get farther and farther apart, so then you have to wait
Right,
longer and longer for milestones. It's fun when you first start, you got 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 200, every
right,
100, you get a
right.
new milestone. Yeah, we have a challenge by us, it's the milestone challenge, and you can only find it for your milestone, and it has to be an official milestone. So, like, I couldn't
Mhm.
find it for find number 1,500. It would
Right.
have to be, 1,000. In fact, I did find it. I think I found it as my 1,000th. So, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
fun challenge cache.
We
So,
got a challenge cache that's like that. You have to find it as a milestone, and you have to have, I forget, I think it might be 8 different milestones, or milestones with 8 different icon types, not including the challenge, the
the
mystery
mystery.
icon.
Oh, that's even harder.
Well, you can have a mystery, but getting it on that, logging that challenge cache does not count towards it.
Gotcha. You have to have had it previously.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, wait. It counts as a milestone, but shows the stage, not the lab. Okay, well that's good though. So you'd still have that icon as your milestone find.
Okay.
If that's true, I'll have to test it on my next milestone. I don't know what my next one is. So cool. Okay, we have another email from mnerve who says, "Great show on waymarking," which was episode 683. That was a couple of weeks ago, 2, 3 weeks
Mhm.
ago. And you hit on some of the problems. I looked at a waymark for a naval gun off of a battleship. The only problem is the gun was moved 45 miles away a decade ago. And apparently there is no way to remove the landmark, or excuse me, the waymark.
Wait, Mark. Yeah.
I love the show. The only podcast I know of talking about waymarking. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we talked about in that show is that one of the waymarks I was looking at was a bar that had closed 10 years ago.
Right.
And no one's really maintaining it. You can't report it as like a needs maintenance or needs archived or anything like that. So
Right. That's too bad about waymarking.
it is too bad. But, maybe with this, sudden resurgence with the creation of the new app, the Waymarkly app, maybe it will spark an interest in people. And I think a lot of people are now getting more interested in like the virtual type finds, like Adventure
Yeah.
Labs, waymarking, virtuals, since the virtuals on geocaching.com are fewer and farther between. This is other ways to go out and find
Right.
things virtually. So,
Definitely.
yeah. So,
I think if we got a smiley for it,
I know, right?
then it would become much more popular.
Yes, benchmarks and waymarks should add to
That's
your
right.
find count. Didn't benchmarks did at one point? Didn't they used to?
No,
They never actually counted as a find.
never actually counted as a fine. You never got a smiley for it.
It just shows up in the
So
list.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice this. Jim RKY says this stuff may get cleared up. The geocaching blog had a squib on waymarking today. I didn't check the blog today. We'll have to check that out and
We'll have to
report
see.
back.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, that's all the emails that we have. So I guess we can get into the actual show. And guys, if you want to, give us your tips or experiences on incorporating geocaching into vacations, whether it's a family vacation or maybe a work trip or some other sort of excursion away from home, and you go and do some caching, tell us your stories, give us your tips. We have some here, but like I said, with just the two of us, it's always great to have some more input and different viewpoints, different ideas, different suggestions. So give us a call, 808-468-7924.
808 got swag.
Got swag. So, like I said, tonight we're talking about caching while on vacation or away from home. And one thing that we all know and love and can agree about is that caching can take you to some really cool places,
Definitely.
especially when you're away from home and you don't know where to go, what to do, what to see. So we have some tips on how to make sure that your geocaching experience while traveling is a good one. So the first one is Geotours. Geotours are groups of caches that are curated by organizations and Geocaching HQ, and they will guide you through some of the best local spots, teach you about the area's history, and of course, increase your find count. All members have access to Geotour caches of all types and difficulty and terrain ratings. Some Geotours also have a cool prize once you fill out the passport. So we've done a lot of Geotours where you get a
Mhm.
coin at the end,
Yep.
incentive, and they teach you something. They take you places. They're showing you specific places in that area that you're going to.
Yeah. So whenever I'm going someplace new or going on vacation or on a work trip or something like that, one of the first things that I do is I pull up the map and start scouring it for juicy bits. Geotours is definitely a juicy bit
Yep.
out there. If you just search for favorite points alone, you're sure to find if there's a geotour in an area, you're sure to find that geotour because they always got great locations. Some of them are historic locations, some of them are fun adventures,
Mhm.
etc. Lots of gadget caches in some of them. So they're always great, and they always rack up the favorite points in the area. So looking for that, looking by favorite points. For me personally, I search for several key items. I search for virtuals. I search for live caches, geotours, and then puzzles, and see if I can't solve puzzles in the area and grab a few of those.
Mhm.
And those that's just kind of to get my plate started. And
Right.
it's not that I do those exclusively, but you got to get the meat, and you can have the vegetables around with it, the traditionals and that
Right.
kind of stuff, but
Right.
got to get the meat and potatoes.
Right. And the nice thing about geotours is you don't have to do all of them in the tour, but you know that it's probably going to take, if it's part of a tour, it's going to take you somewhere interesting, different, fun, educational, historical, or whatever. But what I really like about the Geotour caches is that everyone can find them. You don't have to be a premium member, even if it's a puzzle or
Mhm.
even if it's a higher DT, right? A basic member can find those. So maybe you're on vacation and you want to take your coworker and show them about your exciting hobby. They don't have to create a
Right.
premium account. They have access. That's my understanding. I'm obviously not a basic member, so I haven't tested this theory, but that's what I've been told. So um,
So, and firefighter Skippy reminded us, don't forget the
oh yeah,
webcams.
those
I
are on
mean,
the list for sure.
those are a definite,
Yes.
high valued fine, so,
Yeah,
in my opinion. So,
definitely.
yeah, I'll literally pull up the map, and I will turn off everything but those bottom three or four sets in there
Right.
that have all the high value, what I consider high value ones.
Right.
Those are the ones that have that are lower fine counts in general by the public.
Right. Yeah, what I do on Cashly, let me plug Cashly for a second here because it's my favorite caching app, and they're a sponsor. Thank you. Um, what I like to do, I actually have a few offline lists set up. One of them is all of the webcams in the US. One of them is all of the year 2000 caches in the US. One of them is all of the year 2001 caches in the US. And I have each one of those color coded.
Okay.
And so when I'm in an area and I bring up my map, if I see something in some random area that I don't normally go to that has a highlight on it, I know there's something special about it and I
It's
should
like, ooh,
probably look at what that is.
all right.
So just a tip for you guys. And then, obviously if you would just want to refresh any one of those lists, you have them all offline. I also have one that are the oldest caches in each state. I'm trying to think what others, those kind of like must find caches. I have each one of those has
Right.
their own separate list with its own separate highlighted color. So we have a call. Let me bring it in. I have no idea who it is. But it's a familiar number. I don't have any notes though. So let's see if I can make it work. Hello, caller.
Hello, how are you doing? This is Scott.
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me okay? I'm doing great, and I'm calling in because I just got back from collecting information to set an adventure lab on Highway 1, California Highway 1. And so it's really fresh on my mind that I would probably start looking at some of the adventure labs as I was trying to go to different places.
Yeah.
Because you just get some really, really interesting places to go. Today, I was up in Pismo and doing the research for this adventure lab, found out about dew nights, which I had no idea what they were. But they're people who, from about 1929 to about 1946, lived in the dunes of around Pismo Beach. And they were artists, and they were vagabonds, and they were free thinkers, and they had kind of set up a little utopia environment, and lived off the land for the most part. And I had no idea until I started researching for this adventure lab. And they actually have one of the train stations there. They have one of the houses, the last remaining house of one of the Dunites. And there it is, some place that geocaching adventures took me to.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm waiting for a couple more of those PCH or PC1 California Highway 1. I'm used to calling it the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a couple more of those to publish down in the Santa Cruz area. And then I'm going to try to get out there. So the Santa Cruz, San Mateo area, I think there's two more there. And then I'm going to start there and head north, do that section first.
Yep. Yeah. And, just to update you, one of the people in Santa Cruz just wasn't performing. So as of 2 days ago, I'm searching out somebody else to take one of those sections. And the other person is performing just, a little bit slow. I think somebody here around the show could kind of relate to that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Well, I hope they get done. There's only 4 of them there's only 4 left of the 67, and one of those is going to be done in the next couple of days. Actually, I think 2 of them are going to be done in the next couple of days. The one that I've researched today, and then I beta tested another one down there in San Luis Obispo County. So
awesome.
We should be up in just a couple of days.
Very cool.
So, yeah. Well, you guys have a great day, and thank you very much for taking my call.
All right. Thanks for calling, Scott.
Always.
All right. So another thing that one should always remember is to have offline maps. So you don't always get cell service everywhere you go. So having some quality offline maps. I know Cachely has some premium offline maps, which are great to have. But there's some other apps use like OSM maps and other things. So having offline maps so that you can actually see where you're at when you don't have any data is great. I've used it in foreign countries because data, I don't want to use my data when I'm in Brazil or in Europe or something, because it's going to cost an arm and a leg to use that. So, having the offline maps is invaluable.
Right. And also, you have no idea what your cell signal is going to be. If you're going to an area you've never been, you're better off making sure that you at least have downloaded those offline maps, as well as, maybe do a quick offline list of, the area near your hotel or something like that,
Yeah.
just in case, so that you always know what's around.
Yeah. So for those people that use lists instead of GPXs, definitely. Or for me, it's had that GPX on the phone, or POI files on my Nuvi.
Right. Yep. Okay. Before we move on to the next one on our list, let's take another call. Hello. I think this is Karen, Poison Lady out of Colorado. Can you hear us?
Yes, it is.
Hi.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I went to going caching last month, and one of the things I did is I just started planning everything really early, about a month ahead of time when I decided I was going to go. I'm kind of an old-fashioned cacher in some senses, that I still like to print caches because I don't want to forget those that I really had an interest in, and I take the time to read through those caches.
Yeah.
I also like doing some other things. Of course, planning caches along a route. I do that the old-fashioned way. Just looking at the roads and seeing what's nearby.
Yep.
I also like looking at things that may be just a hair out of the way, because sometimes plans change. You might find something a little bit more interesting just driving down the road and go, oh, I didn't know about that. And so, like when I went to going caching, there's all the different caches there that was available to be found, but not all of them were I necessarily interested in. But I had recently, right before leaving, found this little town southwest of there called Cave Spring. And that was a fascinating little town to go caching. It had a few earth caches there. It had an adventure lab that was fantastic there. It's just a quaint little town. And it brought me to another point, too, that I thought about before going. I always want to look at my profile before I go. What is it that I want to do?
Yep.
What goals am I trying to achieve? Anything like that. And so, I'm thinking of things like states that I've never been to before, counties, just little things like that. And I start just collecting all these things in a little notebook. And then I also go and include the things that I know that I have the most passion about, which is like earth caches, because I was a geology major in college. So those are definitely a favorite for me. I look for events along the way, as well as I look for challenge caches that I can find while I'm there, because I might not ever get back to that area, and why not?
Right.
And then finally, the last thing that I like doing is I like just challenging myself to reach a specific goal, when it comes to how many do I want to do. And I put all that information on all of this into a notebook and have it ready to go. And I found that works for me. It may not work for everybody else, but I do that. And then I throw in some of the other GPS games, and I'm having fun. It's just a vacation of fun, and it doesn't cost anything more than my phone bill.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's one thing that you mentioned, counties. That was one thing that Scott and I did a few weeks ago when we were down in Georgia. It was like, as we were driving along, we'd pass you are now entering this county, and it was immediately we'd look, where's the next, where's the next, is there a cache here? What, and I mean, we probably unintentionally found caches in 8 or 10 counties easily, just watching those signs. And, we're not huge county cachers.
Right.
Other than clearing Illinois, but it's just one more thing. Eventually you may want to do that. So, why not? If there's a quick one, just stop and grab it. So yeah.
Well, because you might not ever be there again.
Right.
So why not?
Right.
It's just something different to do, that it's not your traditional, let's go to Disney World. Okay, nice. That's exciting. That's great. But
hey, there's lots of virtuals at Disney.
That's not everybody's thing though either.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. All right. Those are great tips, Karen. Thanks so much for calling.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a great evening, all.
All right. Thanks.
Now I got to look at my map of Georgia and look at my counties in Georgia.
Yeah. I signed a challenge once a long time ago that was like find X number of counties, a cache in I don't know what it was, like 500 counties or 1,000 counties or something ridiculous that I'm like, I'm never going to hit that, but I'll sign it anyway. And every trip you make, you just one more stop, one more county, one more county closer to actually qualifying for a ridiculous challenge. So
Yeah, I've only got 17 counties in Georgia. I'm surprised. Although I do make it completely across the state,
oh, nice.
but
Border to border.
from border to border, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so next up on our list is multi-caches. Make sure that you take a look at multi-caches, especially if you're in a new city, because multi-caches are often the perfect way of getting a little tour of the city. And they're puzzle caches that do the same thing. Maybe it's a tour of a downtown area, or taking you through a nice park or something like that. So, always make sure, don't discount those multi-caches, the least liked
Yeah,
cache type.
I mean, I look at them, and I try to make a educated decision as to how much of a pain they're going to be, because some of them can be and one of my favorite caches of all times is a multi cache.
Mhm,
Uh, but some of them can be a real pain in the butt,
mhm.
and never needed to be that way, and really didn't do much for you. But others can be very interesting, and then some are super easy to do. Some you can even do via Google Street View. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Uh, so and so that you get that final set of chords, and you got the gist of
You
what the
you you
multicache
got
was
a
about.
virtual tour,
You
right?
took the virtual tour,
Right.
literally virtual.
Literally a virtual tour. I did a puzzle cache one time that you had to use Google Street View and navigate through London and, like, find all these things along the way to eventually and, like, answer questions along the way to work out your final chords. It was really cool. That was fun.
Oh,
But
cool.
everyone knows I like Google Maps, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
late night map perv.
Right? Next on the list is sorting by favorite points. We've kind of talked about this. Anywhere you go, hit that sort by button. I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
every app has that feature where you can either filter or sort and look
Yep.
for those caches with the high favorite points. They're probably going to be either a great cache or in a great location
Or old.
or old. And maybe all three if you're really
Ma-
lucky.
yes.
Do you want to take the next one?
Meet the locals. Who better to show you local flavor than the geocachers who live there? Creating or attending an event in your destination is a perfect way to meet local geocachers. Use the geocaching search to find events in your vacation destination area.
Right.
So definitely that's something that I would suggest doing. Also using social media to connect ahead of time. There's a lot of different areas have their own little social media for geocachers. So hit those up.
Right.
Google it possibly
Right.
as well.
Right.
Uh,
Or host your own.
or host your own.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's always a good thing to do.
yep.
If you got the time to dedicate to
Right.
it. So
Right.
I
Plan it ahead
mean,
of time.
so I've done it before when going to megas, and a few days away from the outside of the mega, since we go early and stay late when we usually do it, so you can get one in there, and maybe staying a little bit away from the mega event itself.
Mhm.
But since my family doesn't geocache, hosting an event with the family is kind of
Mhm.
difficult. Although I did host one on top of Mount Rendezvous and the Grand Tetons.
But the trick is you host the event at a restaurant because your family has to eat, right?
Well, the family has to eat, but yeah, that is a good point. And my wife has come to a number of the events that I've hosted locally, both here and back in Houston, that were where we had to eat. So
Right.
like she's more than happy to do that. So actually, you got that is a very excellent point.
Hmm.
So I might have to do that in the future.
Yes, that was what we did when we were in Minneapolis. We hosted an event at, I don't know, I think it was at a Fuddruckers, and the family could eat. We met tons of local cachers. And, the great thing about meeting the locals is you can ask them, what do I need to do while I'm here? Tell me your favorite caches. Tell me what's around, because they'll know, obviously, what you need to
Mhm.
do. I mean, the more seasoned cachers will, obviously. But yeah, definitely don't be afraid to go to those
Right.
local events.
And Fuddruckers is a good place. I've probably been to 30 events at Fuddruckers, various Fuddruckers around Houston area.
Mhm.
Back
Yep.
when I was living in Houston, I don't know if they even have Fuddruckers around here,
No, we had one nearby
unfortunately.
and it closed not too long ago. And the other thing we do with the family when we go, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, a lot of cachers go on vacations with their family, and it's a family
Mhm.
vacation, right? But you still gotta figure out ways to be creative and
Oh,
sneak that caching in, right?
definitely. I mean,
So,
virtuals are great for that.
yep,
Earth caches are great for that.
yep,
Um, there's a number of things that are great for that. Lab caches are pretty good for that as well.
absolutely. That's right.
So,
Yeah, so we hosted an event at an ice cream place one time because the kids like ice cream. Because you don't want to take them somewhere boring. You don't want to take them to a park where they just sit and do nothing. So we took them to an ice cream place, and it turned out to be really cool. It had like an outdoor seating area that they had all these games out there. They had
mhm,
like like a flip the it was some sort of flip game where you had to flip something into a ring, or they had all
mhm.
kinds of really fun outdoor games. So it kept the kids entertained. We got to meet a lot of the locals, so
Yeah,
definitely don't be afraid to reach out, and don't be afraid to reach out on social media.
definitely.
Mhm.
Let's see here. While it may be tempting, it's best not to hide caches while on vacation. They would most likely be denied by the local reviewer unless you specify a local who would be able to maintain it for you. And that's definitely true. Um, uh, I've got one hidden in Brazil, but the person that takes care of the ape cache is actually taking care of my cache, and out of the kindness of my heart, I gave him, I think, like 6 lock and locks and some other cache containers as well. So some good cache containers for that Brazilian or the Atlantic coast rainforest.
Yeah, nice. Now, the exception to that obviously is if you have an Adventure Lab credit, you know, don't be
Ah,
afraid to put out an Adventure Lab because there's really not a whole lot of maintenance. Although I did have
got that
s
bonus cache.
yeah, you can't really put out that bonus cash. Um, but I did have something that people had to find on one of my Adventure Labs actually disappear. So, there is a possibility, but it's much easier to maintain a lab cache or, something that you're not physically placing an earth cache, although usually that's probably not something you do on vacation unless you know the area really well.
Right.
Oh yeah, Pizza Ninja. How about a vacation earth cache? Yeah, absolutely. Um,
I think it's pretty much impossible to put out a lab cache. My understanding is now with the lab caches, you have to be there and and submit it, and then you have to be able to go back within a very short period of time. That's my understanding about that. So the days of placing an earth cache when you've just gone through an area and
mhm.
coming back, I think that's gone now, as far as I understand.
I know it's I've never placed an earth cache, but I do understand it's quite an extensive process. And it does require quite a bit of communication with your local Earth cache reviewer, who is not necessarily your regular local reviewer. The Earth cache
Right.
reviewers are specific to Earth
Yes.
caches.
Yes. They're actual geologists.
Right. Right. But I do love finding Earth caches on vacation because, in your home area, your terrain. Like all
Right.
your Earth caches are pretty much the same in your area. You have like 3 or 4 options on what your Earth cache can be, right? But when you go to a different area, suddenly you're learning all kinds of new stuff about the local geography
Right.
and.
I definitely say that's true about Houston area, and it sounds like it's true about the Chicagoland area. Out here in California, we got a wide variety of terrain, so we're
That's true.
we're relatively earth cache rich.
Yeah, that's true. I give you credit there. I live in the Midwest. It's boring. We have like fens, maybe I don't
Pins and
even know what else.
bookends.
Yeah, kettle moraines. That's pretty much it. Like it's all just like meadows and yeah.
So yeah, Houston, you got oxbows and salt domes, a few others like that. Oxbows tends to be the common thing. That's where basically a bend in a river,
Yes,
and then it winds up cutting
eventually
through,
connects.
and then that where that you got the little lake left over that's
Yep.
kind of like crescent shaped. That was part of the bend before, because it's now cut off.
Right. Yeah, we have
Yep.
a couple of those more up in Wisconsin than here. So now we have a whole bunch of tips on if you are going on a trip with your family and or your children. So your family and or children may not be supportive of your geocaching lifestyle choices,
Really?
right? But like I said, we got to get creative and you got to get your finds in when you go on vacation. You got to get that new state or, whatever
Definitely.
it is. Make sure you don't miss out on a souvenir.
Definitely. I mean, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and make that hard call. I'm going to get this county. I need this county.
Mhm.
I'm getting it. And it's like nothing's going to change that. Which actually, you know what? What I am glad that who was that Lazarus Long came up
Mhm.
with the Adventure Lab, emailed in about the Adventure Labs, because that reminds me, when I do the Pacific Coast Highway, California Highway 1 lab caches on there, there's a bunch of counties that I haven't done.
Oh yeah.
I need to stop and get real caches in those counties.
Yes. Yes, for
So
sure.
so I get the county credit.
Yes, for sure. Speaking of lab caches, it has been confirmed that the stage of the adventure does count as an official milestone, and it will show up as that icon on your milestone list.
Awesome.
So, yes.
Awesome.
So, thank you to the Pizza Ninja for confirming that for me. So you go on vacation, you take your kids with you, you're visiting
Mm.
family, but there's like 50 cache power trail nearby. So what do you do?
Get the grandparents to babysit.
That's right. You find a babysitter. Scott and I did that a few years ago on spring break. Our kids were a lot younger and, didn't want to necessarily leave them alone for a few hours at 10 o'clock at night, but they had already gone to bed. There was another family member home, and we were like, hey, we're going to run out for a couple of hours. And we went out and we got probably 40 or 50 caches in a couple hours, just quick park and grabs all around us. So, we went out, we got our numbers, and no one missed us. Maybe they did, but we're going to pretend they didn't.
That works for me.
That's right. So there's always a babysitter around if you're visiting family. Another tip, if you don't have plans to actually do geocaching at your final destination, but you're on a road trip,
Mhm.
don't forget to check the rest areas. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
about near you, but by us, just about every single rest area has at least one cache, sometimes more. So
Yeah, it's very extremely common in rest areas
right.
everywhere I've been to have at least one, if not a couple.
Yes,
So
for sure. Or, you stop for gas. Honey, can you pump the gas? I have to go run an errand over here on the other side of the parking lot, kind of a thing, right?
yeah, see that's Debbie's job when we're out on a mega event. It's like, ooh, there's a cache over here. It's like, okay, go log it, sign our names.
That's right. Yes, always have
Like
someone run over.
we're pumping gas.
Yes, definitely. We've done that more than once. I'm pumping gas. There's one in the next shopping center over, or if you're going through the drive-through, you're
Hmm.
in the passenger seat, you going through the drive-through while you're waiting in line. I've done that. I've hopped out of the car in the drive-through lane to run over to the next parking lot over to go grab a cash.
I pulled into a parking lot and pull up to the lamp post that's way out in the back, and my wife's like, "Why are you stopping here? The store's up there." It's like,
Uh,
there's a cache underneath the lamps. Uh, it's like, yeah, gotta get it.
right. If you have your kids with you and you know that you're going to be taking them with you, look for some regular sized containers, and
Mm,
make sure that you
gotta get a little swag.
bring some swag with you for sure. That always makes it a little more fun, especially if you have the younger kids to see what do they want to trade for. So always make sure that you have a swag bag, so to speak, in the car ready to go.
Yeah, I was a little irritated at myself for not bringing any swag with me when I did the hike up the western branch of the American River off of Folsom Lake, and because they were all ammo cans, and there was one of them that actually had some swag in there that I wanted to that I would have traded for, and it's like I don't have any swag to put in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
normally it's all kid stuff, and I didn't want it, but there was a uh, uh, was it a cloth tape measure,
Oh yeah.
retractable cloth tape measure for measuring out your cloth when you're sewing,
Sure.
and so I'm the sewer in my house, so I'm not
So you need
afraid
a
to admit
tape
it.
measure.
So I could have used that. I've got one that I got I just hand wind up and
Yes.
turns into a ball and throw
Yeah.
it in the kit.
Oh, so was this one that had, like, the button in the middle that you'd push and you
Yeah,
would yeah, those are
I had
nice.
a retractable one. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it was nice.
nice. Yeah, it's always nice when you come across swag or, like, sunglasses when you just lost yours at the last cache. It's,
Right.
bonus. So make sure that you have some swag to drop. One thing I think is always really fun is, if you're going a road trip and you have your kids with you, tell them at the start, we're gonna have a contest. Make it a
Hmm.
contest. Who is the one who actually spots the most caches? Who calls that out first? And give them a prize at the end. Do something fun. Make it a game. Have
Right.
a first to find contest. Not really a first to find, but you know what I mean.
Well, it's like I have I have those days where I find just about every single one, and
Yeah.
then turn around the next day and I find almost none of them.
Right.
So,
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
it's like I can't find a thing today.
Yep.
What's wrong? And other days you're like, woohoo,
Right.
found it again. Woo.
Right. And but usually, if you cache with a partner on a regular basis, do you ever notice like you're opposite? One person's
Yeah,
on, the other one's off, and then the
yeah,
next outing, you're the opposite, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Yep. Um, Another fun thing to do, have each family member drop a trackable while you're on vacation and have a race to come back.
Ooh, that's a
That
good idea.
that would be something kind of fun for the kids, have them pick something out ahead of time, have it all ready to go and, have your vacation trackable. Um, and then you can update them, if they're too young to have their own email or their own account. Keep them updated and watch it and hopefully it doesn't end up in a yard sale.
Definitely.
Yep. What was next? We've already mentioned this before, but
Rare icon types.
Yes, definitely find the webcams. I always think it,
Mhm.
like our kids always think it's super fun to look down on the phone, hopefully it's one that is compatible with your phone, but they love looking at the phone and looking up and waving at the camera and, you know, so I think kids really enjoy those webcams.
Yeah, we did one in Chattanooga that they actually recently replaced the webcam itself with a high definition webcam that's
Nice.
live. So it actually had a picture that you could tell who we are.
Nice.
So that was nice.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, our kids always like doing the webcams. We stopped at like Cape Canaveral area on the way back
You get the one
from
with the
Florida.
fish in the background
Yeah,
in the marina. Yeah,
that big sign at the marina.
that was the very first webcam that I did. So I got a
Yeah.
picture with my family in front
Yep.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are always fun. And the last tip is know your limits, or rather, know your family's limits. Um,
Ah,
keep to your time constraints. I know it's super easy. We all do it. Just one more. Oh, but
yes.
there's just one right there. But if you have a flight to catch, or you have family that you're meeting at a certain time, or something like that, make sure you know your limits. Know when you have to stop, even though no
Right.
one wants to stop.
And so when I'm planning out for the mega events and stuff, I if we got things where we got to get to this event, we got to get to the airport and stuff,
Yep.
I will actually put on there what the cutoff time is
Hmm.
on the page. Where at this point in time, if we're not done, we're gone. We got to leave. So in order to either make it to that event on time, make it to the airport on time. Otherwise, I mean, the airport you're pretty good at getting people to break off. For events, it can be a little bit more challenging. And in the past, we have missed events or been extreme late to events that we shouldn't have because of not breaking off at a appropriate time.
Yeah. Yeah. Gia sometimes too asks in the chat room, question about webcams. Do people ever do webcams that are not geocaching webcams? And my answer to that is actually yes. A couple things. First of all, we do have a couple. I'm not sure if they're puzzle caches or what, but they are actual caches, and then they tell you while you're here, turn around and smile at the camera.
Mhm.
So, and it's not a a quote unquote geocache webcam, but there's one there. And I
Yeah,
was
I've seen them where they've had the hunter camera, the deer cam
yeah,
mounted on a tree out in the woods, and turn around and smile for the camera for those. I've done some of those, which are pretty fun.
right, yeah, um,
But as far as searching out webcams and going to do a webcam on its own,
no,
no. I mean, uh, I did that probably around, geez, what was it? In the 90s.
when it was still new technology.
When it was still new technology. We had one on the brand new library that was built at Purdue, and it was like I had to go do it. I had a friend who pulled it up on a website and took a picture of me. It was like,
Oh, cool.
because I thought it was a cool thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, really. So Scott adds to that and says, I've been working at webcams into adventure labs, and then they can discover a trackable to post their picture. That's pretty cool. So add a picture to your log as you discover the trackable to
Mm.
document your webcam find. That's a great idea. Before we wrap it up for the night, we do have one more caller. Let's see who this is here. Uh, hello, caller. Do you have a tip for us?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello. So I heard you, I just got back to my room and I heard you talking about webcams and other, like, do people do webcams that don't actually amount to geocaching? And yes, Jesse actually has a webcam that is not on on geocaching.com.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because I do have a webcam on the other listing site for caching, right?
Right.
Opencaching.com.
The other air quote, air quote, other listing.
The other listing, right? But you know what? For some reason, I feel like I might have recently ignored an email that said that my caches were getting archived on that listing site. I'm not sure. I sort of vaguely remember like seeing that in my email list, and I'm like, open caching, I don't, whatever. I'm not sure.
Nice.
So I may or may not still actually have a webcam that's listed on opencaching.com. I'm not sure I even know my password to that site anymore, to be honest.
Okay. That was my only share.
Yeah.
I know you had one.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yes.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah. Thank
Hey,
you for
thanks for taking my call.
calling.
I think I'm going to officially retire from podcasting tonight, by the way. It's all yours now. So
No.
you don't need me anymore.
This is like
Thank you,
super nerve-wracking sitting here. I have way too many controls and buttons in front of me, and it could be dangerous. So I don't know if you want this happening every week.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. I just heard that, and I'm like, I know Jesse's got one that's on geocaching.com. So
do you have an extra tip for caching while traveling? Are you caching while you're traveling tonight, Scott?
I am not. There's nothing around me. There's nothing around me. I checked.
Womp womp.
Literally no caches.
What
I'm in
about-
like a dead zone here.
What about any adventures?
There's no adventures either. No. The closest cache is about 6 blocks away, and it's cold out.
Yeah, nobody wants.
So I'm in the city, so I'm right off the lake, and it's got a nasty wind. It's cold out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
I look forward to listening. I look forward to listening to the show tomorrow on my drive home.
Okay. No, you're not gonna be able to do that because I don't know how to actually push it live. Like, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be delayed to actually be posted.
So you don't know how to edit the show. So
No.
so you still need me for producing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay,
So,
I can still
although
produce.
I suppose
Okay,
you could
fair
watch
enough.
it on YouTube though.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. Put it low
Right,
res
that's
and play it.
what I was going to do. I was going to listen to it on YouTube on my way from work.
Okay.
From the
your conference.
Yeah.
All right. Start Cacher says Scott's tip is let Jesse plan the caching trip. That's probably a good idea.
That's it. Oh, yeah, that is literally. Yeah. Well, let the smarter person, let the person knows what to do. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I try and give her a head start and give her kudos along the way. And yes.
Yeah.
She does a very good job. Jessie does a very good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. I do have some planning to do after we're done with the show tonight. So.
Yeah, I saw you. I got an email from you about it, so I glanced at it.
I sent you our preliminary itinerary.
Ooh.
Yes, I took a quick glance at it. Yeah.
Big trip planned. Big trip.
Yes.
Big trip.
Yeah.
Yes. So we got to wrap up the year on a high note. So.
On a high note.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be plenty of patron videos coming out of that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you plug Patreon?
Of course.
Like good children?
Of course.
Okay.
Of
good.
course. Would you like to plug our patron extras again?
I don't know. What you mean, like who the new ones were?
No.
What you get for being
extra video, extra video and audio only available to Patreon members? Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. As well as stickers,
as
path
well
tags,
as stickers and path tags and
coins. How many coins do
Which
we
means
have left?
I have a whole nother. Hey, anybody who's a patron and you haven't gotten your coin yet, trust me, or stickers or path tags. For I guess if you got a coin, you got stickers and path tags as well. It's coming. I just I know I have to do another. I'm getting another batch sent to send out. Excuse me, to send out. I'm getting that batch. I'll get that batch together this weekend. So hey, if you want to get a coin quickly, I have not gotten that next group yet. So if you sign up to be for that coin tier soon, before this weekend, you'll get that coin quickly in the mail. You don't have to wait another month to get it. You get it quick.
So Scott, I have to ask you, why don't you put in the show notes what patrons get what the extra stuff patrons get because I have to sit here and stumble over that stuff.
We'll modify the
Because
show
I know
notes.
what it is. I say the same thing every week.
Yeah, but I
I'm the one who
don't.
reads it. Sorry, I didn't even think
Not
about it.
today.
Come on, Sid. You've heard me say it literally 1,000 times.
I know. I know.
It's different when you're in the hot seat, though.
Exactly.
All right, we'll modify
Yeah,
show
sorry.
notes.
Only available to our patron members. Yes. It's all the good stuff.
Yes.
Paywall is
All
good.
the good stuff.
That's it. Paywall is good.
Yep.
And be sure to check out the store as well. UrbanTreeCanopy.com. Chad's shirt is in there now. So if you want to order it, you can
Oh.
order it.
And the Geocaching is Fun
Those are on
hoodie
the
that
post.
he is currently wearing.
I'm wearing my
Oh, he's wearing a
Geocaching
Check
is
out a
fun.
Geocaching is Fun Wii-shirt?
Whee! Yes.
Wee. And Jesse, I'm super excited because I have 8 pillows to sleep on tonight. So
See,
8 pillows.
I wore my Operation Cluster Blank COVID-19 Operation Enduring Cluster Blank COVID-19 shirt on Sunday because I was planning on going to the Niners Colts game. I had to paid for it, paid 500 bones for
Wow.
tickets and parking.
For a football game?
And yes, and for my son and myself, and it was raining so frigging hard here that we had flash flood warnings in all the counties around me and stuff, and it was showing the pre-radar image was showing nothing but red on the rain down there, and it's like I'm not doing this.
Yikes.
I'm not doing this. It was a good game to
You
watch, though.
flushed
I
500 bills
watched
down
on
the
the
toilet?
count. It was like
Flushed 500 bills down the toilet.
those 500 bills would have been gone anyways, whether I went to the game or not. But I was a hell of a lot more comfortable, and I did not have to drive 3 hours through torrential rain, sit for 3 hours in torrential rain, and drive 3 hours more through torrential rain.
Ugh. No, thank
So
you.
Did you even attempt to scalp them at all, or no? You didn't make an attempt on it.
I didn't make an attempt on it. So it was
Not even an attempt.
I watched so I watched the game, and when they panned out and stuff, there might have been 5% of the stands with seats or with people in seats. So
Really? Wow.
yes, and when they panned up like to the owners' booths and the lights and stuff, and you could barely see into the owner's booth from how much rain was coming down. I don't see how they played in it, to be honest.
Crazy.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Hmm.
All right.
Well,
Hey, Scott,
okay.
I got one more thing for you here. Firefighter Skippy
Yes.
made a comment in the chat room that I think we need to bring to your attention. He says,
Okay.
gee, if only some GCPC host remembered to bring some swag to Georgia recently. I think we owe him some swag. That's directed.
Oh, I did forget to bring swag.
That's directed
Did I
at
tell him
you.
I would give him swag? Yeah, I did.
Well, yeah, you didn't bring
Do me a
your
favor,
I met
Jesse.
Scott Burks. I met Scott Burks path tag.
Okay, so do me a favor, Jesse. Do me a favor. You're sitting at my desk, right?
Yeah.
To
I'll
your
write you a sticky note.
to your left is
I got it. I'm
to
on
your
it.
left is sticky notes, right? Send FF Skippy a path tag,
Got it.
and then also then email me his address,
Okay. You're on.
and
I'll be
it will go out in the next batch.
All right, perfect. All right.
Okay, if you could please.
I just
And
had
then
to give you
anybody
a hard
else,
time.
hey, if you what, Jeff?
I just had to give you a hard time. That's all.
No, hey, you're right. No, that's not a hard time. You're absolutely right. I totally forgot about it. So no, that's not a hard time. That's reminding me. Nothing wrong with that. So anybody else, you want that coin? And trust me,
Path
there
tag,
are
not a
only a
coin.
few left. I promise.
Wait, your
What?
path tag? Or are you talking about the path tag or are you talking about the patron coin?
No. I'm talking about the Patreon coin.
Oh. Back
The
to that.
Patreon coin. There are only a few. When I say a handful, I mean only a handful left. Very, very, very few left. And so if you want to get in there, you can. It'll come soon. You're not going to wait a long time like these other people are doing. You're going to get it soon. Log into that $10 tier before the weekend. That's all. All right,
Cool.
guys. Thank
Okay.
you. I'll see everybody next week. Guys, well done on the show. Jesse, well done on the hot seat. And Chad.
I'm not
Both
over.
of you.
I'm not done yet. Don't jinx
Well
me.
done.
Yeah, we haven't done the
Oh, it's
closing
easy
yet.
now. All you got to do is close the show. Closing the show is easy.
Well,
The easy
we
part.
got to be able to say it before the audio runs
Before
out.
the audio ends, right?
Just, let's all watch. See if Chad can do it before the audio ends.
All right.
All right, guys. Be well. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks
All
for
right.
calling.
Ciao.
Okay. Bye. All right.
All right.
Anything else before we wrap it up here?
No.
All right, let's close the show. I want to thank the callers, thank our emailers. Don't hesitate to shoot us an email if you have something to add, something we forgot, maybe another great tip or a quick story. The geocaching podcast at gmail.com.
Please join us again every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, as we stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website, geocachingpodcast.com. The archived versions of our podcasts are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and audio versions are available on your favorite podcatcher. If you like the show, please head over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, make sure you to click the subscribe or get notified button to know when we go live. If you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show with tiers starting as low as $3. You get tons of additional information, extra videos, and extra audio only available to our Patreon members. Please head over to patreon.com and subscribe. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. Thanks again to our sponsors, Cachely, Logworks, FTF Geocacher Magazine, the Maxa Body Company, Practical Geocaching, Arted Crafted, and pattags.com. Please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, tell them that GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week. So we'll see you next week. We talking geocaching and taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones. Talk to you next week. I think I made it.
You made it.
And clear.
Nice. We made it through the show without any major snafus.
Yay.
Fantastic. Oh, did we say what next week's show?
It wasn't in the show notes.
Oh, yes, it is. It's right there. We missed it. I put
next
this
week's-
in great big huge letters.
Okay. So next week's show we have it's November Cacher Coffee.
It's November already.
Yeah.
Wow. This year has flown by.
Definitely. And I got my flu
Crazy.
shot yesterday, so I'm like feeling a little down.
Yeah.
A little sore.
Do you feel do you like get fatigued from it?
I always get a little body achy and a little fatigued
Really?
the next day.
Yeah. No, I got mine a couple weeks ago, and I just had like a sore arm for a day or two. So yeah. Flu shot season. Gotta love it. That means days are getting shorter, temperatures are getting colder.
Yes.
I left for work this morning. It was 34 degrees outside.
That's cold.
It was cold. And I was in a hurry. I ran out the door and I got outside. I'm like, oh man, it's cold. I should probably be wearing a coat. I wasn't even wearing a coat. It was so cold.
Yeah, it's that time again.
We need a soda show instead of coffee. So Cacher soda. Let's see. Cacher Coke. Cacher Coca-Cola show. Nah.
Cacher coffee.
Cacher coffee. We won't tell anyone what's in your mug, Karen. I mean, you can put anything you want in that coffee mug.
We can make it Cacher Irish coffee.
Oh yeah. That might be fun.
Yep.
Cacher Dr. Pepper, yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Thanks everyone for joining us in the chat room tonight. And we'll see you guys all next week.
All right. Bye-bye.